Oh gosh.
How do you cry? I mean, do you have like,
I'm so dehydrated by the end of the season. I was like, I can't anymore.
because you're an excellent, excellent crier.
Thank you very much.
You are an excellent, excellent crier. Like, can you imagine? This was said to Meghan 2015, 2016. You know, even if she cries genuinely in the future, nobody will trust her. I mean, at least you'll ask, are you really crying or are you just making it look like you're crying?
It's a couple things. I mean, sure, like, because you have to understand, we're not just doing it for that one moment that you see on screen.
Yeah, there's like how
we'll
many
do
takes?
my
Like,
coverage,
yeah.
your coverage
Yeah.
if we're doing this shot, the master. So those like breaking up the wine glass or the screaming and crying, you got to imagine we do that 20 times, right? And I still want to give the same level of performance for my castmate as I would on my own coverage. So even if you only see the back of my head, I'm still pouring tears for them.
It is all about crying. It is all about faking things. Now, at 7 minute 55 into this, she is actually making it absolutely clear how she cries. Let's take a listen.
I don't know how I do it anymore. Sometimes if you just stare really hard for a long time, tears will come.
So she was staring at the royal family members like, Camilla, Catherine, Princess of Wales. When she will cry, it means you will have to find out whether she is looking at somebody, like staring at someone without blinking. If that is the case, then you know she's about to cry. And this is exactly what Meghan Markle is saying. Okay, guys, another thing you will notice is that she is touching her forehead, like doing this all the time. This is a trademark of Meghan Markle. All the time she goes to any interview, touching her forehead a lot. It's something easily noticeable.
Breaking up the wine glass or the screaming and crying, you got to imagine we do that 20 times, right?
Okay, here comes that. Now, let me tell you a few things. Wiping the forehead, according to body language expert, can be to remove sweat. It is typically indicative that the person is trying to get some relief and can be a deliberate exaggeration. It can also indicate fear. Yes, fear, even when the person is not sweating. What I understand from her body language in this interview is that Meghan Markle, she was very, very afraid of facing this lady, doing this interview. For whatever reason it is, it could be number one, the show was a super hit. It was a big hit. I should not say super hit, but a big hit. But Meghan Markle was not known for this suit as much as she wanted because obviously she was not playing the leading role. So when she was coming to this kind of interview, she was afraid what to say. She was thinking, well, I'm not really that important. Why people are interviewing me? And so she was afraid. That could be one reason. Another reason could be that she doesn't really know much about the show itself, and she was thinking maybe some questions will come to her and she will find it very awkward, or that she would not know the answer. That could also trigger ignorance, can also trigger fear in that person. But definitely one thing that I've noticed over and over again, Meghan was touching her forehead way too much. I mean, we all do that, but when you do it too much, it means trouble. Another thing that I found out from this interview is that Meghan Markle, she is so careful. She reads all your comments. Like, let's take a look at this one.
With this kind of lifestyle or being interviewed or having fancy things, like that is all very new. And so to be able to show like, you want that, you could totally have that, and you are enough and you're worth it. And it's also been a great way for me to connect with people like Emily, who's right here. I only know her through Twitter, and I knew she was coming because I saw it on social media.
Stop it, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, Emily is right there. She notices Emily right away. She had, number one reason for that is she had so few followers. That time, again, as I said, not a lot of people knew her, and she was picking on every single follower. I mean, if you followed Meghan Markle that time, chances are she had noticed you already. She knows your name. She saw your comments on Twitter. And she was at the same time rewarding those people. I'll play the video in a second so you know more. But this is a characteristic of someone who is a complete narcissist. Why? Because the narcissist, when you support them, they love you more than anything else. But the moment you do not care about them, or you leave a negative comment, you have a negative point of view about them, they are going to trash you. Meghan Markle did exactly the same thing. In this case, I'll show you the video again. you will see that Meghan is rewarding that girl, Emily. At the same time, now we're seeing that this narcissist, she threw her own father under the bus. Let's take a look at this video.
Yes, and she's going on a trip soon to Costa Rica to do some aid work because she said that my UN stuff inspired her. I wrote you a letter. I brought it.
Okay, that is amazing.
Absolutely narcissistic. I mean, there is absolutely no reason for her to go and hug and do this whole drama.
So great to meet you. We'll take. Oh! This is. I got a big letter from him. Oh no.
I also have a letter from Seoul, who is Meghan Markle.
Oh yeah, in Brazil.
Yes.
Oh my
I have
God.
mine and hers, and then
I'll talk to you right after. We'll finish the interview.
That is so cool. That's actually
Isn't that sweet?
seriously
Aw.
using your outreach for good, to connect.
The other reason why Meghan is reaching out to her, it also could be that she was paid. Meghan has a history of manipulating people. It could be that this lady, Emily, we have also seen during the Queen's funeral that some people were so eager to talk to her. They even asked her, can I talk to you one-on-one? This is what was reported, that Meghan was actually paying some of these people, even for the Invictus game, to show up. So I do not know. I do raise doubts and I do question whether this girl was paid by Meghan Markle to come to this show and then, voila, declare to the whole world that, yeah, Meghan helped me out. I followed Meghan and Meghan was ready with a gift. The next one, as we all know, Meghan Markle loves to praise herself. She wants to glorify herself. And this is exactly what she is doing here. Take a look.
Organization and working closely there. So I went to Rwanda shortly thereafter to really meet with female parliamentarians because Rwanda has the highest percentage of female parliamentarians of any government in the world. 64% of their government is female, which is astounding and amazing. And then I was just recently in Rwanda again for something different with World Vision. That was just in January, working on building new wells and water sources. And for me, it's a really easy lineation. I look at it and go, many young women and young boys, but specifically young women, aren't able to go to school because they're spending hours a day walking to get water for their families. So by fixing that one piece of the puzzle, you can see from a grassroots level, you're going,
yeah, praising yourself, fixing that problem. I did so many things in my life. Do you not notice that? This is exactly what Meghan Markle is doing here. Praising, plethora of praise for her own self. Let's take a listen a little bit more.
now they can stay in school, they can get an education, they have a much larger promise for a brighter future. So,
Not to mention the environmental degradation that you're reducing by having clean water wells.
The next thing I want to point out something very, very deceptive, manipulative. Meghan Markle, obviously everything about her is very, very deceptive. In this part, you will hear that Meghan Markle is talking about people, how you can take care of others, how you can care for other people who have less, quote unquote, people who have less than you. Now, think about this. This is the same person whose father is dying in the hospital, doesn't have enough money, no financial support, and she lives in a mansion that is worth over $10 million, 16 bathroom, 10 bedroom. I mean, this whole mansion. And her father, on the other hand, has no help. This is the same person who is talking about how we have to care for people who are less fortunate, who have less than us. Let's take a listen at this one.
I was back in Rwanda. I feel very connected to that country now. But being in these different villages, I think the biggest takeaway for me, especially in my industry, is the contrast of the things that, it just puts a different level of perspective on the things we take for granted and the things that we complain about, right? We're all going to have our days, and it's all relative. But I think there's something so anchoring about being able to have a hands-on experience in any kind of aid work or volunteer work you can do. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I think just any opportunity to help people that have less than you will change how you move in the world without question. I think everyone.
People who have less than you, okay, your father, you do not really need to do any volunteer work, Meghan Markle, or anybody for that matter. Just take care of your parents. If you throw them under the bus and then you come and say, oh, I do volunteer work, I do this, I do that, you are absolutely 100% lying. And this is exactly what Meghan Markle had been doing all her life. You care for people, good thing, go and help your own father. She also said it gave her a new perspective. Okay, so what perspective you're talking about? You are now seeing the whole world in a different way. Did it change to make it better, or it got even worse? Because this is Meghan Markle from 2016 or 2015, when she was not finding or Googling a prince to marry. Then all of a sudden her father was in bed, he was sick. And so that time looks like she was communicating with her father that time. Okay, the interview, when she was doing this interview. But now what happened? You found a prince and then you forgot your father. This is the perspective you're talking about, Meghan Markle. I mean, these porkies are too much. You need to do things. You need to prove that you are a good person through your action, not through lip service. Thank you guys for tuning in, for joining in. I'll be doing more reaction video of these old videos of Meghan Markle. Stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.